about to say the most controversial thing I've ever said in my life. Disclaimer: John Hagee. I would not be surprised if John Hagee is closer to the glory in the temple in the 1,000-year reign than I am. I would not be surprised at all. Second, I don't know how to say what I'm about to say in a less explicit manner. What's coming up, is by no means a problem with just John Hagee. Not at all. And this is not disrespectful to John Hagee. I like the man. He's a good man and he's a brother in the Messiah with me. John Hagee said, men need to reassert their authority in the family. Let's talk about this man for a second. Let's talk about this guy that John Hagee refers to. This is the same guy whose wife at any time can call the cops and he has to leave his home. This is the same guy whose wife can write in divorce procedures that he touched the children, even if he didn't. This is the same guy who has to pay for his divorced wife decades after their marriage alimony because she can't work for some reason. This is the same guy that has to pay for fatherless children in the welfare state. This is the same guy who gets criticized for having a dad bod. This is the same guy whose job no longer exists and education is worthless. This is the same guy whose income has been stagnant since the 70s. This is the same guy who has paid for the baby boomers who never had children and live longer and longer. This is the same guy who gets blamed for everything in the culture. This is the same guy who gets blamed for everything in the church. This is the same guy who is told that sexual desire is evil, that his desire is evil. This is the same guy who is told to defer to his wife in the church. This is the same guy who is told to honor single mothers. This is the same guy who is told that he's lucky to find such a great catch. This is the same guy who is told to ignore the that alpha the woman screwed in her teens and 20s. This is the same guy who pushes further and further out of the office jobs and human services and into the heat of the field because we need to hire a woman for that task. This is the same guy who is told that he should ignore the beauty of women and look for their character of her. This is the same guy who is a villain in every TV show. This is the same guy who hears honorable names dragged through the mud, like from the Mattress Girl, Trump accuser, and Brett Kavanaugh. This is the same guy who is lied to about women's sexuality in every media, in every institution. Women like nice, friendly guys who understand them. That's the lie. Katy Perry's teenage dream. I think you think I'm pretty without any makeup on. You think I'm funny when I tell the punchline wrong. No mention of the 5% body fat the model had in the music video. This is the same guy you try to gaslight, thinking that beauty has nothing to do with anything. And then we read about the beauty of Sarah, Rebecca, and Rachel. This is the same guy who hears how single mothers are victims of men. The women that women are strong, wise, and brave for raising children, but have no moral agency when they invited the guy back to her place late at night. This is the same guy who wanted to marry your 30-year-old woman who had a good decade of depravity under their belt and whose depreciation of her sexual value is very significant. Her best years are a decade behind her in her sexual marketplace value. The Bible does not reflect anything that we have between a man and woman today. Nothing. There is no rules, no previous agreement, no standard that we can draw from the Bible that we see today. I had to find and listen to a pickup artist to understand the jealousy of God, to understand Jehovah's desire for virginity. A pickup artist. Do you know how insulting that is for a man like me to learn something from the spiritually dead? Do you know what? Do you know why I call myself the smartest person I know? Directly to people's faces, as a release, as an emotional release, to keep me from gripping a person and yelling into their face. They make me so angry, and I want to make them angry because I've been lied to in nearly every area of my life, if not every area of my life, my entire life. I have been drinking the Kool-Aid my entire life, up to 2 days ago. And relating to women as if they had no sexual desires at all, because that was what was being taught in church. Here's the explicit part, everyone. There are so many non-virgins in church. What exactly am I buying with half my income and with my life I am called to lay down? A used vagina of some alpha? Some girl who pines away for the first V-taper that penetrated her while she's lying in bed next to me. Second-rate sex, last-place intimacy, no-place emotional connection. First-rate sex is virginity. Everything in the Bible says this. You only need the Bible to prove something is true. Sola scriptura. However, the Quran says it's true. Men being beaten to death, and deservingly so, in prison for pedophilia, testify to this as well. A man, his enemy, that wants to murder him, and a man with skin in the game testifying to the same issue. What are you going to say about it? I should be grateful for some 35-year-old whore? No, this system can go to hell. Of hegemony. I'd rather be the man of her dreams and never have sex with her than be the man who has sex with her that she never dreams about. That is where I am. And I know I'm not alone, and I know I'm not crazy. That is my assertion. I'd rather have 0.01% of a woman than the rest of the 99.99% of her. In fact, I'd rather not even have the 99.99% of her if I don't have that 0.01% of her. And I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone because I'm a genius. I wrote a book on prosperity versus austerity doctrine, but if it's just me in this world, I don't need much. And I'm speaking for most single guys. We don't need much. We are happy with 3 square meals and some AC when we're hot. We overproduce for the woman. Everything you see outside was created there by men for women. I would like to thank Rollo Tomossii, and I would like to thank McRae, I believe his name. These two men woke me up.